In medieval England, when private ownership of property first developed, if someone wanted to transfer their land to somebody else, the buyer and the seller would both go out onto the property. The seller would pick up a stick or a twig from the land and hand it over to the buyer. And that transfer of that stick symbolized the transfer of title to the property. Eventually, as people grew more comfortable writing, that act of delivery would be memorialized in a piece of paper called a deed. Now, eventually, I suspect it was probably on a cold, rainy day, someone said, why do we have to go out on the land? Why don't we just sign the piece of paper and hand it over, and that will be sufficient to transfer the property? And that's where the modern deed came from. A deed is nothing more than a document that transfers ownership of property from one person to another. It's not a certificate of title. It doesn't show who owns the property at any particular point in time. It just is evidence of the delivery of ownership from one to another. Now, the term title is an opinion, a legal opinion that's based on that deed and all of the other documents back in time that relate to the ownership of that piece of property. And so if somebody wants to get confirmation that they own the property, usually we provide them with a copy of the deed by which they became the owner, but there's no such thing as a title. A title, again, is a legal opinion that a lawyer or someone else trained in property law would have to give to say in his or her opinion that this person was the owner of that property.